It sounds counterintuitive, but chronic stress doesn't just make you feel rushed. It literally distorts your brain's perception of time, making minutes feel like seconds and tasks feel insurmountable, trapping you in a relentless cycle of urgency. This isn't just about being busy, it's a profound neurological hijacking. Comment right now. Does your stress feel more like a relentless internal clock ticking faster or a heavy weight slowing you down? Today, we're diving deep into the science behind this temporal compression, uncovering why your brain plays this trick on you. And most importantly, I'll give you 2 powerful, actionable techniques to reclaim your time perception and break free from this exhausting stress cycle. How can you convince a brain convinced time is running out, that it actually has enough? Subscribe now so you don't miss the counterintuitive strategy that forces your brain to slow down. Chronic stress is a master illusionist, and one of its most insidious tricks is manipulating your internal clock. It's not just in your head, real neurophysiological changes occur. When your brain perceives a persistent threat, your HPA axis goes into overdrive, flooding your system with cortisol and norepinephrine. These neurochemicals, while essential for acute fight or flight, have a profound impact on areas like the insula, which is crucial for time perception, and the prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive functions like planning. What happens is a narrowing of your temporal focus. Your brain prioritizes the immediate, perceiving future deadlines or responsibilities as immediate threats, even if they're hours or days away. This isn't simply being busy. It's a fundamental shift where your brain accelerates its internal rhythm, convinced there's less time than there truly is, fueling a relentless sense of urgency and panic, even when the physical clock objectively moves at its normal, steady pace. This creates a vicious feedback loop. The stress makes perceived time feel scarce, and that very scarcity fuels even more stress, becoming a self-perpetuating cycle. When faced with this internal pressure cooker, most people instinctively react by trying to beat the clock. We strive to be more productive, to multitask, to squeeze every last second out of our day. We download productivity apps, optimize our workflows, and sacrifice sleep, all in a desperate attempt to catch up with a clock that feels like it's speeding up. The irony is, this common response actually reinforces the very problem we're trying to solve. By constantly pushing ourselves faster, driven by this internal deadline, we inadvertently validate to our brain that the urgency is absolutely real, that time truly is in short supply, and that our current pace is entirely insufficient. This aggressive pursuit of efficiency, while seemingly logical and well-intentioned, inadvertently tells our HPA axis, "Yes, brain, you're absolutely right. This is indeed an emergency, so keep the cortisol flowing and the urgency dialed up." It's like trying to put out a small fire by throwing highly flammable material directly onto the flames. To counter your brain's fast-forward default, we need to teach it to slow down and savor. I call this the moment magnifier micropause. Here's how. Choose one mundane, non-urgent daily action you perform almost mindlessly, perhaps brewing your morning coffee, washing your hands, drinking a glass of water, or simply opening a door. For the next 60-90 seconds, dedicate yourself to performing this action exceptionally slowly and with heightened sensory awareness. Don't just wash your hands, feel the temperature of the water, the texture of the soap, the friction of your palms rubbing together, listen to the subtle sounds. If brewing coffee, observe the steam, smell the aroma, feel the warmth of the mug. This isn't passive mindfulness, it's an active, deliberate slowing down. You are consciously overriding the brain's urgency circuits, forcing it to linger in the present. This builds new neural pathways in key areas like your insula and prefrontal cortex, effectively showing them that rich, detailed sensory information can exist and be processed within a deliberately prolonged present moment, which in turn stretches your internal time perception and signals to your entire nervous system that it's profoundly safe to actually slow down and be present. Our second technique is a powerful, counterintuitive move, the strategic delay. This is not procrastination, it's a deliberate act of rebellion against the brain's urgency bias. Here's the step-by-step. First, identify one non-critical task that you feel needs to be done right now. It could be responding to a non-urgent email, tidying a small area, or starting a minor chore. Second, consciously decide to delay it by a specific, short amount of time, say 30 minutes, an hour, or even until tomorrow morning. Make this decision intentionally, without guilt. Third, in the newly created gap, do absolutely nothing related to that task or engage in something entirely unrelated and enjoyable. Read a chapter, listen to music, or simply sit still. The critical part here is consciously witnessing that, despite the initial urgency, absolutely nothing catastrophic happens as a result of your delay. You are actively providing direct, tangible, real-world evidence to your amygdala and other threat detection systems that not everything truly is an emergency. By demonstrating repeatedly that delaying a non-critical task doesn't lead to dire, unforeseen consequences, you actively begin to rewire your brain's deeply ingrained urgency circuits. This practice is a form of behavioral exposure therapy, systematically desensitizing your brain to the false alarms of temporal scarcity and reducing the chronic stress response. To truly embed these new neural patterns and solidify your reclaimed sense of time, consistency is key. At the end of each day, dedicate 2-3 minutes to a temporal inventory. This isn't another task to rush through, it's a reflective pause. Mentally or in a quick journal entry, review your day. Specifically, identify moments where you felt that familiar rush of urgency and moments where you consciously applied a moment magnifier or a strategic delay. Crucially, re-engage your senses and recall the specific details of those slowed down moments. What did you see, hear, feel, or even smell during your deliberately slow coffee ritual? How did it feel to consciously delay that email? This active, sensory-rich recall strengthens and solidifies the neural pathways associated with expanded time perception. It effectively helps your brain consciously track and register all those important instances where urgency was successfully challenged without any negative consequence. This builds a powerful, self-sustaining positive feedback loop, reinforcing to your entire nervous system that you have genuine agency over your internal clock, ultimately leading to greater temporal flexibility and significantly reducing your overall chronic stress load over time. We've journeyed deep into how chronic stress distorts your brain's perception of time, trapping you in a cycle of urgency. But you've also learned two powerful, practical techniques: the moment magnifier, to actively expand your present perception, and strategic delay, to courageously challenge your brain's urgency bias. By consistently applying these, you can fundamentally retrain your brain to experience time not as a scarce, ever-fleeing resource, but as a flexible dimension you have agency over, liberating you from the constant pressure of the clock and reclaiming your peace. Take back control of your internal clock, one mindful moment and one deliberate delay at a time. When stress strikes, are you more likely to freeze up and withdraw, or push through and tackle it head-on? Share your story below. You've just discovered the powerful science that's changing lives, but knowing what works is only half the battle. In our next episode, we'll give you the concrete steps and a simple plan to activate these brain changes and start lifting your depression, not in weeks, but in days. Subscribe now so you don't miss future videos that decode your brain's hidden patterns and equip you with practical, science-backed tools for lasting mental well-being. And comment below. Does your stress feel more like a relentless internal clock ticking faster or a heavy weight slowing you down? Your insights help build our community.